Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your 10-minute morning send off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So, today we're going to talk about inertia. So, if you are struggling with inertia, feeling unmotivated, feeling sluggish, feeling maybe even calling yourself some names like feeling lazy, feeling useless. That's when inertia really takes on a life of its own in a downward spiral. But if you're struggling with any of that, we're going to talk about inertia. We're going to talk about how to relate to the idea of inertia and lack of activity correctly, because there's a lot of incorrect ways that we look upon it. And we're also going to talk about how to soothe it, how to soothe your inertia, and also connect with how it affects your capacity to receiving your fulfillment. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I've been coming to you each morning, Monday through Friday, with these rise and receives as an opportunity to illuminate that while some struggle in life is natural, much of it is learned. And when you understand how you've learned struggle by over relying on the hard work ethic, because it's so deeply ingrained in our culture and especially in the United States and in our world, and you start to see how struggle is learned and that you can unlearn it, as you unlearn it, receiving becomes very easy, very natural. It simply happens. And not only does receiving become easy, your capacity to allow the fulfillment that you've been chasing after working hard for starts to just happen, but you start to really see that life always offers kindness, that there is so much goodness here. But when we're in hard work mode and we're focusing on solving problems, it's really hard to let in the goodness of life, the blessings of life. Once you unlearn the struggle, the floodgates open up. So that's what we illuminate here. And so what I invite you to do today, as I read you this card, what I'm going to be doing is reading one card from my brand new Receive card deck. And if you like what you experience here, you can go to receivecarddeck.com, put in your name and email, and I'll let you know as soon as they are available for purchase in the new year, although they'll be available for pre-orders for the holidays. If you like it, then I look forward to sharing that with you. So today I'm going to read to you today's card, which is Soothe Your Inertia. Soothe your inertia. So sit back, let these words wash over you. I always invite you to take a deep breath because that puts you in receiving mode. And after I read it, I'll unpack it a bit, and I'll also share with you your willingness mantra for the day, which sends you off ready to receive more of your fulfillment by unlearning struggle, because willingness and invitation is the feminine model of power. It's what allows you to receive with greater ease. Okay, so here we go. Soothe your inertia. Generally speaking, when most people hear the word inertia, they think of sluggishness, inactivity, and lack of motivation. If inertia is a problem for you, it isn't because there's anything inherently wrong with inertia. It's because you're looking at this state of being through a lens of judgment and possibly fear. You see, if you believe that your value and worthiness is dependent on what you do, all of your positive beliefs about yourself will be dependent on how active you are and what you achieve or produce. You will feel safe if you are busy. You will feel worthy if you're focused on a goal. You will feel valuable if you are working hard. You'll feel good if you produce a concrete outcome. But if you are not these things, you will struggle. If your energy feels low, if you don't have a clear goal in sight, if you feel apathetic, you may believe there's something wrong with you. You may call yourself names like lazy, boring, or useless. You may weigh yourself down with a long list of expectations or demands like, get your butt in gear, or you should get a life. Start moving. You need to figure out what you want to do. This dilemma offers a clear picture of how and why we struggle unnecessarily. If you have a malnourished or absent connection to the feminine resources of power within you, which is about being rather than doing, you will over rely on doing for everything. This causes you to keep working hard, rowing the boat, because if you stop, you're dead in the water. Inertia makes you feel like you're dead in the water of life. But when you understand the utter power of being, then you start to see inertia for what it really is. Instead of laziness, you see that you are nourishing yourself with rest. Instead of unmotivated, you see that you are open and receptive to inspiration, ideas, and new awarenesses. Instead of sluggish, you see that you are taking the opportunity to simply be. And being is receiving. And when you give yourself permission to let the judgments rest, your awareness becomes free to pay attention to what is actually here. Your awareness becomes like the sails of your boat, ready to catch the wind of inspiration. If you are struggling with inertia, take the opportunity to notice the struggle, stop, breathe, and let it be here with compassion. As you stop being hard on yourself and begin to replace your judgments with kind curiosity, you'll start to open a space to receive kind curiosities from life itself. You'll be able to experience your physical activity being fueled by a new form of energy. Instead of having to row your boat constantly, you'll enjoy more and more ease as you lean back and let the winds of inspiration catch your sails. So that is the Soothe Your Inertia card. And here is your willingness mantra for the day. It's very simple and very powerful. I am willing to feel inspired. I am willing to feel inspired. Every time you feel the blahs, you feel unmotivated, you feel sluggish, and it's got that kind of heavy weight to it. And even if it gets worse, like you've got the shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should get motivated. I should know what to do. Should. Or you're comparing yourself to other people who are in active mode and you're not. If there's judgment, if there's negativity, stop all of that. Stop all of that. Because underneath it all, I can pretty much guarantee that what you're really wanting to feel is inspired. You're wanting to feel inspired. Okay? So we invite inspiration. I am willing to feel inspired. And it is so amazing because what happens is in the space of the inertia, because there's a space when you're inactive, you're actually being and you're actually receiving. But what you are receiving are judgments, are demands, are expectations, are all kinds of struggle because you think you shouldn't be inactive. You think you should be doing. So your space, what you're receiving is that entire battle, all of that struggle. When you let it rest, that space opens up and the inspiration, the next thing that life wants to offer you actually has room to come in, but you got to make room for it. Okay. So that's what's actually happening with inertia, which is funny because it's almost like it's the shadow side of overwork. Okay. So we talk a lot about the hard work ethic, doing. We struggle with that. But then when we're not doing, we struggle with that too, because we can only see life through the lens of doing. All right. So doing and not doing can create struggle until you open up to being. And that's what receiving, that's what the feminine model of power has to offer. That's where all of the ease comes in. That's where all of the flow comes in. But you have to get comfortable with being. And if you haven't been valued and validated and loved and supported to the degree that, would be the truth in an ideal world, but we're human and we live in this world. If you haven't gotten the positive messages for simply being, for simply existing, that's what causes us to over rely on the masculine model, do, and we get locked into that. It's learned, it's ingrained. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to highlight as I unpack this a bit is I wanted to talk about the blahs. Because when I work with my clients, it's become, after coaching for a long time as I have, you start to see patterns and trends. And what I have seen both for myself and then with my clients is as people start to tap into this wisdom and they become willing to slow down the overfunctioning and connect with beingness, there's inevitably a time when they'll say, Sonia, I've got the blahs. I've got the blahs. And I always say, yay! Because when you get to the point where you're feeling the blahs, you have an opportunity. Now you've slowed down life enough now to listen, to hear, to tap into something different than hard work, and think, and do, and plan, and hunt. Okay? The blahs mean things are slowing down. There's a space opening up. And I always say that when the blahs are here, or inertia, or feeling unmotivated, what's happening is you are opening a space to shift your energy source. In other words, what is the driver that has you move through life? Okay. When we are operating from learn struggle, the driver is this external motivation. It's all about what we think we should do. So it's kind of another way of looking at it is it's ego driven. Okay. So we're doing, and we're trying to make things happen. It's all about control. But as you start to unlearn that and the space opens up, that space allows you to be moved instead of by this driven sort of an energy. It's an energy of inspiration. So instead of it coming from the outside demanding from you, it comes from the inside, and it's moving you from a place of joy and creativity and possibility. Okay. But you have to be willing to allow that space to transition, kind of like going from gas to electric. When you're transitioning, there are adjustments to be made. And you got to kind of learn a new way of relating to your car, right? Or wind versus rowing in the boat. So I hope that gives you some new ways of looking at inertia, new ways of opening up to receiving and unlearning struggle. And if you like this, I have two things to recommend. First of all, again, if you like the receive cards, go to receivecarddeck.com, get on the early bird list, and I'll keep you posted about when those become available. And save the date for October 7 and 14. I'm going to be offering a workshop called the Vision Workshop. Receive your clarity, your power, and your path forward. And I'll guide you in a step-by-step process on creating a vision for your life or for an important part of your life that allows you to tap into your soul's inner wisdom so that you can receive from inspiration rather than thinking that you need to know what's going to happen in the physical world so you can plan it. Because the truth is, now more than ever, it's really hard to plan for the future. So this is where you get in touch with your inner North Star. And you have a very powerful tool, a really powerful receiving tool that opens you up to new possibilities and clarity moving forward. Based on your truth inside versus clarity that's based on something you cannot predict in the outer world. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you're on YouTube. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And I hope I'll see you tomorrow morning at Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.